This week on InsideRH Football, I'll sit down with Coach Lazat to talk about the first loss of the season. Then we'll head to Micah for Player of the Week. After that, Ava will tell us about this week's Player Spotlight. And last but not least, we'll head back to Micah for this week's Region Roundup. All that and more on this week's InsideRH Football. What's up, Wildcats? Welcome to this week's edition of InsideRH Football with Coach Lazat. How's it going, Coach?
What's happening, man?
So, Coach, I think just to put it plainly, it was a weird week.
Very weird week, very weird Friday night, you know?
So, I'll just let you take us through it and sort of explain how it all went down.
Well, you know, the crazy thing is before we left, I pulled my rain jacket, and I was like, man, I'm not even going to pack my rain jacket. You know, 0% chance of rain. We hit the road. We had a great day traveling, very seamless, very smooth. Got to the facility, everything was good. Played the first half, and then the only lightning cloud, the only storm cloud in the state of Florida was hovering over over Gainesville, and so. High regulations, lightning is within 10 mile range, and lightning strikes 30 minutes after a lightning strike. The forecast looked like we weren't going to be able to kick off until about 11 o'clock, and so they were pretty insistent on just calling the game at halftime, and it is what it is. You know, we were down. We had a team meeting this week, and it was a game of inches. You know, we had the chains pulled multiple times. For us, and fell a little short, inches short of continuing drives deep in their territory. We had a big fourth down stop, and they gained a first down by maybe an inch, the nose of the ball. And so game of inches and point swings that took place after that, it was a lot closer game than the score depicted. They had a really good player on their team. We talked about him last week, and he did a good job of really competing and making plays. Their quarterback did a good job of getting him the ball. But we have a lot to build off of, right? Like our guys, if you were to ask them, about the missed opportunities, they know. It's not for lack of talent, lack of ability, it's lack of execution. And we've got to do a better job of doing that now that we're about to hit the gauntlet of our region play. And so everything that we've done has led us to this point, has led us to these 5 weeks that are going to be very, very engaging, going to be very tough, playing against some of the best teams, best talent in the state. 4 of the 6 teams in our region are in the top 10 in 6A classification, which is just unheard of. And so we're getting ready for it, and we're ready to go.
Yeah, I'm excited to see us play. So, Coach, you talk about stopping big players because obviously Buchol's had their 4-star athlete, a very talented guy. So, going into games, especially with region play, the talent that they have, how do you sort of build around stopping such big players?
Well, it's all about opportunity. When the opportunity arises, we can't miss on being able to make a play, whether it be a tackle or a completion or a pass deflection, maybe a field goal attempt or a tackle on a kickoff. We can't miss opportunities. And so all of our preparation leads us to, hey, how can we capitalize on those opportunities? Because we are going to see good players, and we're going to see very good coaching from here on out. Buchholz was a very well-coached team. And it's going to be like that every single week from here on out. The teams are going to be prepared. They're going to have a plan. My college coach used to always say, those guys are on scholarship too. Back when he used to talk about the opposing team, and that's kind of how we treat it. Is like, hey, can we stay ahead of the chess match, and just try to stay one move ahead and think one play ahead rather than living in the moment. And if we can do that and prepare our guys to be able to adjust on the fly, I think we're going to be just fine. But it's nothing. We see it all the time in region play. It's seeing these guys. We've played against the number 1 tight end in the country 2 years in a row, right? Like it's one of the top players at quarterback, athletes. You know, these guys are lining up and they're playing at Georgia and all these other schools, and our guys have seen it. So you know they're going to be accustomed to doing it. We just got to continue to trust the process that we put these guys through, and grow and develop.
Yeah, I really believe in us. So, Coach, obviously we went into halftime down by a decent margin. So, and the game was canceled.
Yeah.
So, if we had played the second half, how would you have rallied your team to sort of get the game back in action?
Well, we were receiving the second half kickoff, which really helped us. You know, the big thing about it is I really didn't have to say much. Our players knew. Our players knew how close we were, and the look on their face when I said, "Hey, you know, they're going to cancel the second half of the game." The pain wasn't because the game was canceled. It was because they knew the opportunity that we had to really kind of prove ourselves, so to speak. You know, like to go out there and say, "Hey, like we're a big dog football team. It doesn't matter if we're down 21-0. You know, we have the potential and ability to close that gap really fast." And we were going to do that. There's no doubt in my mind that was going to happen, because everything that we were doing on offense was working. Everything that we were doing on defense was working. We just had some missed opportunities in both of those phases that really were some daggers there early in the game. And so great learning experience for our guys. You know, it's the lack of success and the scoreboard right there is not going to define us. It's going to refine us into something stronger on the back end that we come out and we're going to be a better team because of it.
Yeah, I know it. So, Coach, do you have any specific player that you want to shout out?
Yeah, absolutely. We got a guy, he's actually played really good football the last few weeks in a very selfless manner. Right? And we challenge our guys all the time to be selfless and to care more about the team than they do themselves or their stats and whatnot. And this guy, he's able to put some stats on the board, but the selfless play on offense and in special teams and what we're asking him to do, he's really buying into it, and he's really become a lot better football player by the past 4 weeks than he probably realizes. And he showed it on Friday night. Played tremendously on special teams. Key player for us on offense. Nick Cameron, proud of you, man. Continue to grow. Continue to be that player that we know you can be.
More on Nick Cameron on this week's Player of the Week.
For this week's edition of Player of the Week, we have Nick Cameron, a junior and a wide receiver for our football team. First, he talks about his frustrations coming from the game last week.
I was kind of upset about at halftime we got canceled because of lightning delay, but I feel like going in the second half, we talked about at halftime, you know, getting motivated going for the second half and allow everyone to make some big plays and trying to fix what we did in the first half that we did wrong.
When describing his personal goals, he centers them around giving his commitment to his team, giving his teammates the best opportunities for successful plays that he can.
You know, just trying to make sure I'm there for my teammates. I want to make sure on my part, you know, playing offense too, and offense and defense and special teams, I want to be able to like do my job and make sure I give the best opportunities to my teammates to make plays. You know, it's just not all about me.
Nick says he looks up to people like Tom Brady, an underdog who built his way up to where he was with hard work and dedication, believing that him and Tom have many similarities.
I guess I could say Tom Brady. He's always been the underdog. I had to work for everything I've had, and it's just him and seeing him being an underdog and, you know, being able to just go out in the NFL and being top dog now from the underdog.
After that, Nick talks about how he feels like he's improved over the past couple weeks, exploring his mindset when improving his skills.
I feel my performance was pretty good, you know, offense and defensively, just trying to work hard and, you know, make the blocks I need to make on offense, on the perimeter, playing receiver, you know, running the right routes, know what I'm doing, just overall becoming a better player for my team.
Lastly, he talks about pursuing football outside of high school, always being a dream of his to do so.
Yeah, football is definitely something I want to look forward to, playing at the next level. I've always dreamed of something like that since I was a little kid. Going D1 at college football, I just need the opportunity. Anyone that want to pick me up, I'm ready to go. I'm ready for an opportunity. That's all I need.
I'm Micah, and this has been Player of the Week.
Welcome back. Now let's head to Player Spotlight.
Tyler Haubecker is just a junior this year and already has many goals set for Raiders.
Is to get faster, stronger, and to overall just win state with the team.
As Tyler strides through Raiders this year, he is one person that he always looks up to,
With my size and stuff, I'm not like the strongest, so I've had to adapt and overcome some challenges with that. My co-captain, Alex, he's helped me throughout my Raider career as a freshman. He told me just to keep working, and then last year he just helped me stay motivated and really focus on Raiders.
Although there is no future for Tyler in the military, he still loves and appreciates the sense of community that Raiders gives.
Some things that got me into Raiders was our coach, Colonel Riker, and the sense of community that it has helped me and the leadership opportunities it's given me.
Reporting for Inside Richmond Hill Football, I've been Ava Laidler.
Welcome back. Now to Region Roundup after the break.
Whip it Tesla. Spinners looking kinda ass. Find me bumping on my feet, I'm sorry that I'm clever. Wear a cap and gown, just make me better. Dodge my ass.
Really? Seriously?
I'm faster than myself, it's hard to measure.
Now to Region Roundup.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Micah, and I'm here to bring you this week's edition, Region Roundup. Let's get into it. Kicking us off with our solo games, Richmond Hill lost to Bushholtz with a score of 0-21. Next, Colquitt County won against Rickards with a score of 31-19. Lastly, Camden County won against Royal Palm Beach with a score of 37-20. Now for our region standings this week. First place goes to the Lowndes Vikings for football with a record of 5-0. Second, the Valdosta Wildcats with a record of 5-0. Third, the Camden County Wildcats with once again a record of 5-0. Fourth, the Richmond Hill Wildcats with a record of 4-1. Fifth goes to the Colquitt County Packers with a record of 4-1. And last but not least, the Tift County Blue Devils have a record of 3-2. Now moving on to softball. Tift County takes first place with a record of 15-2. Second, the Richmond Hill Wildcats with a record of 10-6. Third place goes to the Camden County Wildcats with a record of 10-11. Fourth, the Colquitt County Packers with a record of 10-12. Fifth goes to the Lowndes Vikings with a record of 5-17. And last but not least, the Valdosta Wildcats have a record of 3-17. Last but not least for today, we have volleyball, where the Richmond Hill Wildcats take first place with a record of 28-2. Second, the Lowndes Vikings take a record of 22-9. Third place goes to the Valdosta Wildcats, where they take a record of 17-13. Fourth, the Camden County Wildcats with a record of 13-10. Fifth, the Colquitt County Packers with a record of 7-16. Last but not least for today's region roundup, we have the Tift County Blue Devils with a record of 7-15. That's been all for this week, Wildcats. Let's go back to Will after the break.
So, Coach, to finish off this week's edition of InsideRH Football, what's the game plan for Tift?
Well, very tough team. We got to hit the road. Our region, we talked about it last week, is we got to find a way to win on the road in our region. And we've got two away games in region play, 3 home games. I think we'll be juiced up, ready to get back home for homecoming against Camden. But we got to handle this one first, and we got to hit the road. It's not a difficult trip. We're going to stop in Waycross and for a walk-through team meal, and then we're going to play. First time I've ever played a game in Tift County at Brody Field, so it's going to be. We went there and did a walkthrough a couple years ago on the way to Colquitt, but we're excited about it, excited about the opportunity. Again, I use the word, you know, and that's just what it is, man. We only get a few of these, and we got 5 remaining. So we're going to go dial it in and come back with a win.
That's all for this week's edition of Inside RH Football Wildcats. I'll see you guys next week.
Build the hill.
All right, dope. Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it, man.
That was really quick. Easy peasy. There it is. Camera work.
Hey, listen, I take a lot of pride in this one take, you know, like.